would show up at the park and would just kind of sit back and kind of listen and cross his arms, and Lou always had an entourage.
Aired over and over and over, and kids, they started to know, who are these guys in NSync?
That was the eye-opener for America, like, oh wow, there's somebody new here.
They wanted me to do it, but then I realized quickly that it wasn't. And then a week before my launch, everything gets canceled over insurance.
NSYNC's album was hovering around 66 on the chart. The special aired, went from 66 to 40 to 24 to 12.
Okay, so have you ever wondered how the world's biggest boy band went from chart-topping superstars to getting entangled in a $150 million lawsuit? Or how their so-called father figure, the man who created them, turned out to be a PDF and one of the biggest con artists in the industry? Oh, and most importantly, what could have possibly tore apart the biggest boy band group of the 90s?
And the ones that have broken up have given, it a bad name. You know what I mean? So the fact of the matter is we know that we're going to stick together regardless.
Well, buckle up, because we are about to dive headfirst into the one and only NSync. The fame, the fortune, and the absolute chaos that followed the literal figures in every 90s girl teenage dreams.
I love you guys so much, and you have been everything to me, and you are such great inspirations to me.
With over 70 million record copies sold worldwide, 9 Grammys nominations, and a performance at the Super Bowl,
I'm doing this tonight. Finally gonna start a fight.
It's not even a question if NSYNC truly made an impact in the 90s.
One more thing. We were on the tour bus and we were leaving this open-air festival. There was a stampede of fans that was running after.
But what's the story behind this powerful group? And most importantly, for a band that consisted of mostly teens, how did they scale through all the ups and downs in the shady industry? So NSYNC was formed in Orlando, Florida in 1995 by none other than Lou Pearlman, the same guy who founded and managed Backstreet Boys. Now let's pause for a second. At the time, if Lou already had the biggest boy band of the 90s, why was he so eager to create another one? Well, let's just say you're about to learn that Lou is very money-driven. And if you know anything about the 90s, it's that boy bands had a short shelf life. Groups popped up, dominated for a few years, and then vanished faster than a teen heartthrob's relevance after puberty. And our guy Lou, he wasn't about to let all his cash milks dry up. So while Backstreet Boys were still dominating the charts, Lou was already plotting his next money-making machine.
He started developing bands, the first one being Backstreet Boys. He needed another band to get the younger sisters of the girls that he'd already hooked with the Backstreet Boys.
After scouting,
Pearlman would show up at the park and would just kind of sit back and kind of listen and cross his arms, and Lou always had an entourage.
He discovered Chris Kirkpatrick, who was 25 at the time, which in boy band years is practically ancient. But regardless, promised him that if he could help him form a group of 5, he was going to fund it.
Just light up and there's this huge smile, determination to get this together. It's so I gotta find 4 more guys.
And when I say Chris took that seriously...
How old were you when you got into NSYNC?
For right now.
When I started NSYNC? Yeah. I didn't get into it. I started.
He quickly got Joey Fatone, Lance Bass, Mickey Mouse Club child star Justin Timberlake, who eventually brought their 5th member, yet another Mickey Mouse Club child star.
I found Justin. Justin said, I got this kid who was on the Mickey Mouse Club with me, JC.
I'd be the high stuff, these guys would do the leads, Joey would be in the middle, and Lance would be on the bass. So.
And just like that, NSYNC was formed with Chris being the oldest at age 25 and Justin being the youngest.
17, 18, how old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 18 on the 31st of January.
Now with 2 child stars, ridiculously cute faces, and harmony so tight that Justin's mom basically named them NSync because they were so in sync. Yup, she came up with their names.
My mother came up with the name. First time we sang together, she goes, man, you guys sound really in sync. And we were like, ding, ding, ding.
You'd think getting famous will be a walk in the park for these guys, right? Well, hold up, because quite the opposite played out. By the time NSYNC came onto the scene, America was over the whole boy band craze, with bands like New Kids, Backstreet Boys, and 98 Degrees already ruling the charts. Major record labels weren't exactly lining up to sign yet another group of matching outfit heartthrobs. But Lou isn't one to give up. Instead of waiting for America to come around, he basically flew the boys all the way to Germany. And you know what they say, what's glitter to some is pure gold to others.
Everybody knows it as Germany, but it's really NSync country, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's yours. So, I mean, isn't it?
Europe went absolutely feral. And when I say feral, I mean screaming fans, mobbed airports, and chart domination overnight. The boys eventually got signed to Bertelsmann Music Group. And on May 26, 1997, NSync released their self-titled debut album. It became an overnight success in European countries, with instant hit singles like I Want You Back and Tearing Up My Heart.
A lesson I learned to wear for sure. Tearing up my heart when I'm with you.
By the second week of its release in Germany, the album already peaked at #1. But here's the thing, though. While the boys were out in Europe causing mass hysteria,
Now it's time to leave and make it alone.
they weren't exactly turning heads back home in the US. They did get signed to RCA record label, but they still weren't making anywhere near the impact they made in Europe. And if you're wondering, how bad was it? Let me paint you a picture. Chris's own mom, alongside her manager, had to organize a concert that was basically done in front of Walmart to get them some exposure. And guess what? They barely pulled 2,000 people.
Mike took a chance on them and said, we'll do a show here.
We put together a little show in the parking lot of a Walmart.
Yup, that happened. But here's where things finally took a major turn and NSYNC got their one big break.
NSYNC's album was hovering around 66 on the chart. The special aired, went from 66 to 40 to 24 to 12.
Somehow, the group managed to catch the attention of Disney and were invited to do a concert for a Disney special.
Ring the bell.
That one concert basically took their band to a whole new level, with fangirls drooling all over the new famous group.
Aired over and over and over, and kids, they started to know, who are these guys in NSYNC?
That was the eye-opener for America, like, oh, wow, there's somebody new here.
By the time their third album, No Strings Attached, was released in 2000, our boys were on a whole new level, with bangers like Bye Bye Bye. And It's Gonna Be Me.
It's gonna be me.
They sold over 1 million copies in one day and ended up selling over 14 million copies of the album in total. Whew, how's that for a teen boy band? But while their albums were busy making sales like no other, there was serious drama brewing behind the scenes. And what better place to start than with their shady, conniving, money-hungry manager? So by now, we've already established that Lou Pearlman didn't exactly form NSYNC out of the goodness of his heart. Oh no, he was in it for the money. But exactly how bad was he? Well, let's start with the obvious. Those lawsuits. So Lou was the puppet master behind not one, but two of the biggest boy bands of the 90s. Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Sounds like a guaranteed goldmine, right? Oh, it was for him. While NSYNC was out here dropping bangers and making teenage girls worldwide lose their minds, you'd think they were rolling in crazy money, right? Wrong. In reality, the boys were each making less than a McDonald's employee, all while bringing in hundreds of millions. Yikes. And if you're wondering how the hell did they not realize this sooner?
Because Lou was really, really good at this. He inspired their confidence as someone who could make their dreams come true, you know?
Well, take it from me. Lou was a mastermind, and he groomed them into trusting him completely. After all, he created the group. But what do you do when you realize your own manager has swindled you out of hundreds of millions?
Way more money after NSYNC than I did during NSYNC. I mean, he really took majority of all of our stuff.
You lawyer up. In 1999, the boys were done with both Lou and their record label, RCA. I mean, can you blame them? They filed a massive lawsuit to break free from their contract, but Lou and RCA wasn't going down without a fight. In an attempt to stop NSYNC from leaving, they countersued for $150 million, claiming NSYNC shouldn't even be allowed to perform under their own name. And you must be wondering, what about the media in all of these? Well, the public had a front row seat in all of these drama. And trust me, the media was eating it up. But thankfully, after months of high-stake legal drama, the boys won. They settled out of court, secured the right to their name, and eventually signed with Jive Records. Now, just when you thought we'd hit the peak of Lou Pearlman's shadiness, well, hold on to your seats, 'cause trust me, it's about to take an even wilder turn. With his reputation as the mastermind behind the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, he orchestrated one of the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history, defrauding investors of over $300 million.
What happened to Lou in the end? Too many people wanted their money back and he had spent it.
And can you really blame his victims? I mean, who wouldn't want to invest with the guy who created the biggest boy band of the 90s? But karma, as they say, is a pop diva. In 2008, Lou was sentenced to 25 years in prison, and in a twist of poetic justice, he died behind bars in 2016. But wait, there's more. Beyond the financial fraud, Lou had some seriously creepy tendencies. He allegedly had this habit of inappropriately touching underage boys.
Kind of had people around us saying, hey, watch out for this behavior. It's kind of been out there that this may or may not be happening.
And so, when I was 16, 17 years old, when we started, there was someone that, we worked with that was inappropriately touching us.
A lot of NSYNC members have spoken up about it, saying that although he never outright molested them, he had this creepy habit of claiming he minored in physical therapy and telling the boys he was mentoring to let him give them a massage for their muscles.
He would give you a massage, so he was very touchy-feely. He was just a very touchy guy. It always felt a little, okay, I think I know what you're doing.
Yikes, seriously, everything about this guy just sounds really sus. But after all the struggles, the drama, the legal battles they went through together, what could have possibly broken up this iconic group? In 2002, right in the middle of the group's biggest successes, they announced that they were taking a hiatus. But let's be real, NSYNC was actually going out of sync. So what exactly happened? According to JC, the group felt like they've exhausted all their ideas, and the best thing for them was to at least try something new. But that wasn't Joey's view of point to the whole thing. According to him, the whole group crashed just so one of them's solo career could thrive. And of course, I'm talking about none other than Justin Timberlake. And although they really thought they were going to get back together after Justin does his thing for a while, but that never happened.
NSYNC worked with the Neptunes, so that was the natural progression for me.
And trust me, this wasn't the last time people lost their careers.
Are you in the zone?
If I may be audacious and so bold, yes, I'm in. I don't know how deep I've got it, but I've found something.
Just so JTs could thrive. So let's dive into some of the most scandalous moments in pop culture history, all orbiting around the one and only Justin Timberlake. Remember the 2004 Super Bowl 38 halftime show? Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson took the stage, and things took a shocking turn. As they performed, Timberlake sang the lyric, "I'm gonna have you naked" by the end of this song. And in a jaw-dropping moment, he tugged at Janet's costume, accidentally exposing her right breast, adorned with a silver sun-shaped nipple shield.
He was to take and rip the piece off that he did.
The leather piece.
Right, but more came off than what was supposed to.
This wardrobe malfunction lasted only a split second on camera, but it sent shockwaves across America. The backlash was swift and severe. But here's the kicker. You'd think Justin would get most of the blame since he was the one that yanked too hard, right? Nope. Janet Jackson's career took the fall instead, and her career for at least a decade? Gone. Oh, and JT? He just went, oops, sorry. Never really talked about the whole thing and just kept it moving like nothing ever happened.
Justin Timberlake left you hanging out there?
And speaking of careers that never thrived cause of JT's, let's take a minute to talk about JT's former bandmate, JC Chases. Let's be real, JC was easily the strongest vocalist in NSync.
But she had to demonstrate that she was the queen to be.
Talents, looks, creativity, he seemed to have had it all. So after venturing into a solo career just like JT, why exactly wasn't he met with success? Well, that was because he basically got zero support. Instead, the label was busy turning Justin into the next Michael Jackson. Until this day, fans argued that JT got robbed of the career he truly deserved. Now, let's take a look at his journey with his ex-girlfriend Britney Spears.
Mom, I guess I need you, baby.
I will get out of the way now.
Both being so famous and rich, their relationship was the talk of the town, with the media basically dubbing them Pop Prince and Princess.
Help! Somebody help me! What are you doing here?
But all that didn't last for too long after JT came out with his music video, Cry Me a River. According to the plot, JT was heartbroken because he basically found out his girl was secretly cheating on him. And to really drive the nail on the head, the model he used for the video was eerily similar to Britney. Britney faced intense public scrutiny for years until 2023 in her memoir, The Woman in Me, where she finally spoke out on what really happened. She revealed that JT had cheated on her several times, and one time, she finally snapped and kissed her backup dancer. But despite this, JT had majorly capitalized on only the side that made him look like a victim just so he could sell his albums, while painting himself as the saint he never was. Now enough of JT, let's talk about Lance Bass, the NSYNC heartthrob that kept us all guessing. Back in the 90s, the music scene was anything but welcoming to LGBTQ plus artists.
Yo, true or false?
Yes, I'm gay.
Went through.
But imagine being in a boy band with hordes of adoring female fans, all while concealing your true self.
About growing up in such a conservative, small place is having to hide your true self. You know, I knew I was gay when I was 5 years old.
And you had to keep faking being straight just so you could get to keep your job because you were terrified that coming out would ruin your band's image.
Their first girlfriends and dating, and I kind of, put that to the side, and now I had a career to have an excuse to say, oh.
Yup, that was Lance for years. It wasn't until 2006 that he bravely opened up about his sexuality, but the aftermath, not so pretty. He revealed that a sitcom pilot he had with the CW was abruptly canceled. The reason? Executives believed audiences wouldn't buy a gay man playing a straight character. Talk about a harsh reality check. But according to him, he could never have been happier about coming out. And let's be real, who wants to carry the burden of pretending to be who you're not years? But wait, there's more. Did you know that Lance was this close to being the youngest space traveler in 2002?
Certified by NASA and were once in a position to be the youngest person in human history to travel to outer space.
That is true.
He was trained for months in Russia and even got certified by NASA and the Russian space program. Our boy was all hyped up for the trip.
They wanted me to do it, but then I realized quickly that it wasn't. And then a week before my launch, everything gets canceled over insurance.
Yikes. Imagine prepping for half a year just to have your cosmic dreams dashed at the last minute. So, what's the latest buzz on NSYNC in 2025?
We actually have a very ridiculous kind of group chat.
Trust me, these boys are still turning heads, even if they're not lighting up the stage together as often as they used to. After their epic breakup, they've only had a few secret pop-up performances here and there. Remember that jaw-dropping one-off at the MTV Video Music Awards? In 2013, or when they popped up on Ellen in 2018, and even snagged a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that same year. And who could forget that sizzling 2019 Coachella reunion, though it was a four-piece without JT, performing alongside Ariana Grande.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you.
In 2023, the group also came together to release the song Better Place
Just let me take you to a better place.
for the animated film Trolls Band Together.
Have been with us for so long, to give them something that felt not necessarily nostalgic, but familiar.
But is there any chance of them getting back together? Well, according to JC, everyone's focused on their different projects, but they're definitely talking about it in the background. As at 2025, most of them are still working on their music careers while also starring in one or two movies.
Super comfortable. Comfortable.
Now, let's dish on the juicy details we're all dying to know. What are our boys worth these days? As expected, JT is still the crown jewel, boasting a net worth north of $250 million, and with good reason, as he continues to drop hits
There ain't no angels here on the dance floor.
and charm the world on the big screen. Lance, always the multitasker, is now rolling in about $20 million, thanks in part to his ventures in reality TV
I'm here to find the love of my life. I'm here to find my partner.
and his ever-popular podcast that spills more secrets than a teenage diary.
All right, so your debut single, Mi Amore, is out now. It's already crushing it, topping the charts. What do you love about this song?
JC is holding his own with an estimated $16 million, carving out a niche as both a solo artist and a behind-the-scenes hitmaker.
Some girls dance with women.
And then we've got Chris and Joey, each sitting pretty at around $10 million, with Chris making a splash on reality TV and guest appearances, and Joey charming us as a game show host with a side hustle in gourmet hot dogs. Yes, fat ones is still a thing. So while JT might be the only NSYNC member still ruling the charts, the rest of the guys, they're living their best lives, raking in royalties, and probably still side-eyeing Justin for ditching them back in 2002. But love them or hate them, NSYNC changed the music game forever. They gave us bops, drama, but most importantly, some of the most iconic hits of all times that still make us groove anytime we hear them.
I see what's really going on.
Bye, 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 anyone?